right, what's going on? Day 3 here. So to begin, right, just a suggestion, we can stay with our normal bar warm up, but because today we're doing snatches, we could do the barbell warm up instead of clean grip. We could go snatch grip, right? So just a couple key things. Snatch, remember, wider hand grip than my clean. And then the only other difference, everything same thing, bringing it into our hips, getting that triple extension, except the snatch of course ends overhead. So I'll just go through barbell technique, kind of go through this quickly. So snatch grip RDLs, right? About mid shin, back up, still bringing into my hips, right? So all that's the same as the other warm up, right? We'll just bring it up past our knees and then accelerate up. So there's our 5. Then we can keep that same snatch grip. Go into 5 snatch grip, jump shrugs, continue to bring that into my hips, and then driving straight up. Now the other thing different, instead of doing hang cleans, we could knock out 5 hang snatches if we are comfortable. If not, continue to work on that clean. So again, just bring that into my hips, accelerating the bar, and then finishing, of course, over the head, thinking spread that bar. Now, the great thing about snatch, more so than clean, is you're gonna feel that bar come into our hips a little bit more. So great for technique. All right, so I finished my 5 hang snatches, and then I can go into 5 snatch grip overhead presses. Right, this one might be a little bit heavy, so if that is the case, just leave that out, right? And then we can finish if we're comfortable with that. If not, go back to the front squats, right? We can go into 5 front squats as well. Right, just setting those hips back, 2 more. Good. So if you want, just to prepare yourself for today, we can go do that barbell technique with snatch grip. All right, so the first one today, very similar to our clean, except we're in that snatch position. So again, don't rush this. We can make this as difficult as possible. Too easy, add weight, right? A couple key things that I'll say. Even if we've never done snatches or we're not comfortable with snatches, we can, I'm 100% certain, do the first 2. That's gonna help with building the foundation, and that's also gonna help with just getting this technique down. No chance of an injury here with these first 2, just good fundamental technique lifts, just to build up to that snatch if we're not comfortable. And I'll go over a couple alternatives, or one alternative. And then key thing here is even with these first 2, right, especially that high pull, we're still generating force and power. So we're still getting everything that we need just by doing that snatch high pull, right? So that's why even if we're not comfortable, the first 2 definitely feel like we can do. So the first one, right, like before, snatch grip, coming up, holding 3 seconds down, straight up, get a feel for that triple extension, right? So 1, 2, 3, back down. Try and keep those shoulders over the bar the entire time, right? Then we'll continue to go into our next one. This is slow motion for this first one. Bring it in and then high pull, right? So coming in, high pull, right? Fast, violent elbows with that, right? Pretend someone's behind you, punch those elbows. First 2 we can do. Now if we're comfortable, right, go right into that hang snatch. So we're coming down, and remember the other key thing, if that barbell feels heavy to us, remember a lot of times it feels heavy because then we're trying to arm it too much, right? So remember, this is a lower body exercise. So remember, we're generating power from our hips and legs and really just letting our arms kind of go for a ride. The other key I'll give is at the top, think that you're spreading the bar, right? So I'm taking my arms and I am spreading the bar at the top. That's gonna really help with stability at the top of this catch. So we'll do one more here. Go down, generating from my lower body, and then all in the hips. Dropping under that nice and quick, spreading the bar at the top. I would suggest doing all 3 hang snatches, and then coming back and doing our overhead squats. There we go. Right, then take your time with this, right? Grab some water after, put on some more weight if we're comfortable and want that challenge. Now I did say an alternative. First 2 we can do. If that barbell feels heavy or we're just not comfortable with the snatch yet, we can use a dowel or like a PVC pipe, or if you're at home, use a broomstick, right, just to work that technique and then get a feel for the overhead position, right? So just like that high pull, then from there, kind of almost like pretend you're doing that Cuban press. You're just rotating up and through, catching and spreading the bar at the top. Another alternative that we can do, and this is really good, you know, use a wide grip snatch position, because it's going to teach you to squeeze your shoulder blades too. So we're at the top, right? Remember what you're looking for coming in, get a flip of that shirt. That's when I know I brought it into my hips. So if that barbell feels heavy, if we're not comfortable with that overhead squat, use a band, spread it out, get some tension, pinch those shoulder blades, come down, big hip, and then we're here. So we can do 3 of those just to work that forearm, keep that straight up, and then certainly great for the overhead squat, because with this, you can feel what it means to spread the bar. So I'm taking the span, spreading it out as far as I can, keeping that core nice and tight. Same squat mechanics, dropping down, keeping those knees coming out, straight up, straight down. Other key thing, I don't know if I mentioned it, so the bar, or even with our band, when we have that bar overhead, it should be about directly over the middle of my head. So if I bring that down, right on my mid-head, middle of my head, and then bring it straight up from there, and that's my position. So when I'm coming down, right, things to check ourselves on is we don't want that barbell or this band coming forward. We don't need to be too far into that external rotation back here. Just think middle of that head, and that's where we want to maintain throughout the lift. All right, so there's some alternatives for that. All right, so next up on our lift, after those 3, remember, take your time in between, hold, high pull, hang snatch, and then 3 overhead squats. Take your time with those, build up the weight, build up the technique. Remember, all in the hips there. Then we'll go into our goblet squats. So again, right, if we want to challenge, you can make this as easy or as hard as possible, right? You can grab a 25, you can grab a 50, right? All the way up through the dumbbell selection. So make it as difficult as you need. Other key thing, if we're still like, wow, this is easy, I want to push myself, right? So when we go into this, so goblet position means we're just holding the dumbbell by the horns here. We're just here. Same squat mechanics, feet hip width, toes slightly pointed out. Then I'm moving from my hips first. Maintain a big chest, right? Try not to rest it here. Hold it up. Other thing is, right, when we're down here, hold for 5 seconds if we want an extra challenge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back up, right? Hang out down there, big chest, dropping as low as possible, and coming up, right? Hold 5 seconds, drive up. That's just if you want to. Don't feel like you have to do that, but just ways we can challenge ourselves and make this workout harder. Then dumbbell single leg RDL. So we're thinking opposite arm, opposite legs. We're really using this dumbbell as a counter balance, right? So I'll demo on my left leg. So the dumbbell is in my right, Slight bend in my knee, letting that bar travel down my leg. I should feel that stretch on my left hamstring, right? Keeping this dumbbell as close to my shin as possible, maintaining that posture and balance. Nice flat back, coming down. Again, right, anywhere, vary that dumbbell size to get a good stretch in the hamstring to challenge yourself. Med ball slam, just a few little pointers here, but other than that, pretty straightforward. So again, great for developing that technique and foundation for triple extension. So right, without the med ball first, ball's here, coming up onto my toes, simultaneously bring that med ball overhead, and then driving down. Notice in that power position when I show up, you can try and catch it, go right back down into it. So down, right, all the way into that triple extension, drop, catch, overhead. Get a little rhythm going, and we can bust out, I believe it's 10 there, right? So think, right, just like we're doing with our cleans and snatch, triple extension, drive down. Triple extension, drive down, power that bar down. Certainly you can use a bench or anything you want to sit on. This one's a little low, but it was just more convenient. So our last one is our seated calf raises. So we'll have 2 dumbbells. You can even put a barbell on your legs, whatever you're comfortable with. Right, I would certainly suggest having our feet 90 degrees. Like I said, this is a little low, but just for demonstration purposes. Dumbbells just on top of my knees, and then just coming up onto my calves, right? So again, this is actually really good for developing that triple extension too. Just an alternative to just normal calf raises. It's gonna work different parts of our lower body as well. Right, again, another way to challenge yourself. At the top, hold for 3 to 5 seconds, right? Come up, hold 3 to 5 seconds, back down. So key takeaways of today, right, just hone in on that technique, again, on snatch, and just don't rush it, right? It's not a race to get through this workout. Shouldn't take more than probably 40-45 minutes anyways. Too easy. Take a little break, grab water, put more weight on, right? If we're not comfortable with that, do the first 2 and grab something that we can just go into and practice our overhead squat. Have fun.